What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the Zero Excuses podcast. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Kenyon Zitska, and hope you guys have got your new year started off on the right foot here. And what I wanted to do today is to go over my top 10 time-saving tools and strategies that I've implemented every day in my life. Want to share them with you. I'm big on regaining control over your time so that you can spend it the way you want it. So I want to share some tools with you guys. You know, I'm not really big on these like top 10 lists or these 7 steps or blah 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 blah. I think those are kind of lame, but you know, with it being the new year, I wanted to give you guys some solid tools that you can implement right away within your life and really start kicking ass, really win back control over your time, like I mentioned. So I'm not going to beat around the bush here. I'm just going to jump right into it. And the first tool that I've got for you guys is an app called Instacart. And actually, this one my wife uses much more than I do, but it's a app that allows you to have groceries delivered right to your front door. And you know, it's 2019 now, and you know, we've got technology at our fingertips, and this saves my wife at least an hour, if not 2 to 3 hours of time during the week. You know, that's, you know, taking that over a year, that's almost a week's worth of time and effort that you're saving. It's I think it's $99 a year or something. I'm not sure how Instacart really makes money off of this, but that's really none of my business. So this has been a godsend for me and my wife. And like I said, we still have to go to the grocery store every now and again, and occasionally whoever does the shopping for us kind of screws things up. But you know, sometimes done 80% by someone else is better than 100% done by you. So anyways, so the next 3 tools that I have for you are kind of related, and they're very, very similar. But number 2 I have is a website called If This Then That. I use this a lot, you know, with the podcast here, with my social media postings, and I've got, I forget how many they call, I think they're called apps, or they're not called apps, but anyways, I've got several of these algorithms set up on this website, If This Then That. It's ifttt.com. And just to give you a quick example of what I use this for, if you follow me on Facebook, you'll notice that I do a morning thoughts post pretty much every single day. So I've set up an algorithm to record those so that I can keep track of those, so that I don't have to go back on Facebook and try and hunt down those. I also use that for some of my Facebook Lives as well. But it has a wide array of applications that you can use in everyday life. I've seen some as odd as, you know, sending you a text message anytime an astronaut goes into space, anytime the temperature wherever you're located is going to be about 70 degrees. So there's a lot of tools, and you can even write some of your own algorithms. I haven't got that fancy yet, but I definitely recommend that you guys check it out. It's definitely saved me a ton of time. And number 3 is very similar to the one that I just mentioned, but it is a Zapier, and they have something called, they're similar to apps, but they call them, as the name would imply, zaps. But it allows you to interconnect your various apps on your smartphone, or like Google Drive or Gmail, etc. It's very similar, like I said, to If This Then That, but just has some other interconnectability. And personally, I've only got one Zap set up so far, but it's been very powerful for me, and definitely looking into applying that, and definitely can see where many other people can take its capabilities and apply it and save a ton of time and automate a lot of what they do on a day-to-day basis. And number 4, again, very similar to the last 2 that I just mentioned, but it's a website called repurpose.io. I use this to automatically publish my Facebook Lives to my YouTube channel. I use it to also pull the audio out of my videos. And if you guys have been following the podcast, you'll notice that I repurpose some of my Facebook Live audio to publish right here on the podcast. And again, I use that to save some of my more popular Facebook Lives so that you guys can access them here on the podcast very easily. But definitely recommend you checking that out if you are in any way, shape, or form have a steady social media presence. You can definitely benefit from that. I'm trying to remember what else I have it do for me. Oh, it also saves all my videos and my audios to Google Drive as well. So that's the other application I use it for. So my fifth time-saving strategy and tool is a website called Upwork. And I'm also going to mention another website that's very related to this, and it's called Fiverr.com. These are two websites where you can reach out to people who might be better qualified for you to accomplish various tasks. I use virtual assistants through Upwork to transcribe my podcasts. I also use them to help with some of my publishing and some of my blog posts as well. And I also use it for the other part of my business, which is a land investing business, to do some research and due diligence on the properties that I'm considering investing in. So it has a wide array of applications, a lot of different skills that are available, and many of these folks are pretty inexpensive to hire on. I've hired some folks who live over in the Philippines and India for as little as $2.50 an hour. So if you are doing something that takes an hour and you can teach someone and train someone to do that at $2.50 an hour, or even $5 or $10 an hour, this might be something you can consider looking into. And I don't know about you, but I value my time very highly. And if I can delegate something to somebody for $10 an hour, I'm going to be all over that. So definitely check those two websites out, Fiverr and Upwork. So my sixth time-saving strategy that I'm about to share here is what I call sleep optimization. And a lot of people talk about getting the right quantity of sleep, but I don't hear a lot of people talking about optimizing the amount of sleep that you do get. I'm able to sleep for 7 to 6 hours every night and wake up pretty well rested. And I do that through a few different ways here. Number one, I have an evening routine where I wind down every single night. I write down some of the things that are on my mind so that I can basically let them go. I also use a natural sleep supplement. About a year ago, I had a gentleman on the podcast by the name of Dr. Kirk Parsley. Definitely recommend that you go back and listen to that episode. But he markets and sells a sleep supplement called Doc Parsley Sleep Remedy, and I take that. There's other different natural sleep supplements, I'll call them, on the market. This particular one I've tried. I won't sleep without it, but definitely recommend that you try the different sleep supplements, natural ones. Don't go with these various drugs, because those ones I found kind of leave me with a bit of I'll call it a sleep drug hangover, where I don't wake up right away in the morning, and I tend to drag ass for about the first half of the day. But I don't do that with this particular sleep supplement. I also drink, from time to time, I drink one of those sleepy time teas. That also helps me out. And I also take a magnesium supplement that helps relax muscles. I'm big into CrossFit, so that helps also with muscle recovery. And the last thing I'll mention about sleep optimization is to make sure that you engage your body and your mind every single day. I'm big on taking the occasional day off to rest and recuperate and take it easy. But if you aren't staying active, if you're not getting after it every single day, if you're not challenging yourself physically and mentally every day, you're going to have a tough time falling asleep at night. I try to make sure that every single day my tank is on E by the time I lay my head down to rest. So actually, I've got one more thing to mention. Make sure that you are hydrating and eating correctly. Hydration and nutrition have also been big for me, making sure you're eating the right stuff, eliminating processed foods, sugars, limiting your alcohol intake, etc. That's all been huge to help me optimize my sleep. So my 7th time-saving tip here is something that I use pretty much on a daily basis. I reach out to a lot of people remotely through email, and one of the biggest headaches that I always had was typing out emails, and it seemed like I was typing out the same thing over and over until I found in Gmail. Most people use Gmail these days. I still have a Yahoo account. Maybe I'm getting old here, but anyways, Gmail has something called canned responses. It doesn't automatically come with Gmail. You can go on YouTube and look up videos on how to enable canned responses within Gmail. So if you find yourself doing the same email over and over, or doing a similar email over and over, you could save that as a canned response and just pull that up anytime you need to send that message or send a similar message. And I can't tell you how much time this saves me. I can get into my email and out of my email so much faster. Email used to be this big time suck, this big black hole of time for me until I found this, and I really encourage you guys to look into canned responses for Gmail. So my 8th time-saving strategy is a technique called batching. If you guys have not read the book Deep Work by Cal Newport, he talks about a similar concept, deep work. And actually, I'll give you a real live example as I'm recording this podcast right now. I sat down to record 5 or 6 episodes back to back here. When you sit down and batch various tasks, you'll save a ton of time because you'll not have any time losses due to the starting and stopping and restarting effect that you have when you sit down to shift from different task to different task. It takes a different mindset for me to sit down and record podcast episodes than it is for me to interact with my family, to send emails, to tackle the various tasks that I have to do with my land business, etc. So if you can carve out, I've carved out about an hour and a half to 2 hours for me to sit down and record these podcasts. If you can carve out a large chunk of time to do certain tasks back to back that are related, you'll save a ton of time. You'll be in almost a flow state, and you'll be able to knock these tasks out a lot faster than you would be if you were to sit down and do them one at a time. So again, utilize the batching method. So my 9th time-saving strategy, and this is going to sound stupid simple, but I can't tell you how much distraction this has eliminated for me, but utilize airplane mode on your phone. Turn off the internet on your computer and unplug while you are doing certain tasks so that you can eliminate distractions from your life. We all have smartphones these days. I know of one person who has an old school flip phone, but most of us have smartphones that have engineered apps that are screaming for our attention. Put your phone on airplane mode and disconnect your computer from the internet and get your stuff done. I'm just as guilty as the next person of wandering off to Facebook, Instagram, checking my email, and if you're unplugged, that temptation isn't there. You're locked in, you're dialed in, and you need to get that stuff done. And this also is related to planning out your day as well. Planning when you're going to check your social media accounts, reply to various comments or posts that you might make, or reply to email as well. So, schedule that time in as well. All right, so we're down to our last and 10th time-saving tip that I've got for you guys, and that is to find people who have been there and done that. Upgrade your power circle. I've done this through various ways. I've had tons of mentors in the military, spending 22 years in the military. I've had a lot of people take me under their wing. I've sought out wisdom and knowledge through various sources. And I've also joined masterminds. I've hired coaches. I've hired consultants to help me avoid the various pitfalls that other people have, quite frankly, found themselves in, and have helped me navigate certain situations in my life, certain situations, getting this podcast up and running, and other different situations in my life. Sometimes you can find these resources for free. Sometimes you have to pay a little bit of money for them. Sometimes you have to make a significant investment. And I've done all three, and I recommend that if you're listening to a podcast like this, I definitely recommend that you consider making an investment in yourself and invest in people who have walked the path that you are looking to walk, and can help guide you and get you there faster than if you were to try to figure it all out on your own. All right, guys, so there are my top 10 time-saving tips to get your 2019 start off on the right foot. These are things that you can implement right away, and, don't try and attack it all at once here, but some of these are very simple. Some of these might be a little more involved, but encourage you guys to jot these all down, consider implementing them. And if you've got some of your own time-saving tips, strategies, tools, tactics, whatever it may be, definitely reach out to me. Let me know what you've got. I'm definitely curious to, absorb new knowledge and wisdom wherever it may lie. Also, go over to kenyanzitska.com/FB to join our free closed Facebook group, to maybe share that with the members there and share your knowledge. Again, share your wisdom over there. But just to recap what our top 10 time-saving tips are, we've got number 1, Instacart. Number 2, If This, Then That. Number 3, Zapier. Number 4, Repurpose.io. Delegating tasks through Upwork and Fiverr. Number 6, Sleep Optimization. Number 7, Canned Responses for Gmail. Also, check into other email services. I think Microsoft Outlook also has a similar one. Forgot to mention that during my talk about that. Number 8, batching and doing related tasks together. Number 9, putting your phone on airplane mode and disconnecting your computer from the internet. And lastly, finding mentors, consultants, and coaches to help you avoid the various pitfalls along the journey of where you intend to go in business and in life. All right, guys, so that wraps it up for today. Again, if you want to join our closed Facebook group, it's free to join. Go over to kenyanzitska.com/FB to join there. Also, you can search Zero Excuses without excuses spelled without the E on Facebook.com. Just search for the group, or just send me a message. I'll add you as well. But if you want to take these concepts, these various tools that we have talked about in the past on the show, to the next level, we have a couple different ways for you to take advantage of that. First is our Infinite Results Mastermind group. That is a very tight-knit group of guys who are applying the various strategies, like I said, that we talk about here on the show, that are getting the results that they want in their lives. They are eliminating their excuses, building the discipline, and adopting the tools and the routines and the habits necessary to get the results that they want. You can apply to be a part of that at kenyanzitska.com/results. And if you are looking for that one-on-one accountability, that one-on-one customized solution, I also have a very limited amount of slots currently open for my discipline coaching program. You can apply to be a part of that at kenyanzitska.com/discipline. I am very selective about who I take into that program, and you also have to be very willing to invest the effort, the time, and the various resources necessary to get the results that you want through that program. So again, encourage you to apply at kenyanzitska.com/discipline. discipline. All right, guys. Like I said, still battling this bronchitis. Didn't hack up a lung. Talking for 20 minutes here, so it looks like I'm on the mend for that. But appreciate you guys tuning in, and I will chat with you again on the next episode.